So I hope you guys can see my screen now, and thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to be part of this prestigious event and to speak with the common man with regards to the security and cyber security, especially, and add some points and some valuable feedback to our use of the social media. So, actually, my today, I will be covering the topic of protecting your social media presence and your children online. We will basically highlight some risk and threats associated with the social media use and the use of the internet by our children. And at the same time, we will also talk about how to mitigate them. And uh, for my introduction, I'm Mohammed Ali Azeem. I am a senior infrastructure and cybersecurity professional, and I have been speaking on multiple platforms on the similar topics, and especially with regards to cybersecurity as well. So I'll not take much of your time in the introduction. We'll just quickly switch over to the topic we have today. So why social media? I choose this topic and why I decided to talk about this and raise some awareness among the people was that nowadays social media is one of the biggest communication channel we have that is being actively used by so many people around the world that now it has replaced all other communication methods. When we go back to the start of the internet age, we found out that email was one of the main source of communications. Then it came to the voice over IP services like messengers and video calling features, and then it switched to the smart devices and smartphones, and then it became more and more mobile app dependent. And then later on, the next change was the introduction of the social media, something around more than a decade back. And then the social media took the world as a storm, and everybody started talking about and started using. So one thing that which many people have missed is actually that with each such service, there was always a negative side associated. So when there was email, people started to use it for spamming and scamming people around the world. When it comes to voice over IP and other services and websites, then it led to the phishing emails, phishing links, and phishing websites, and to target the client, to target a common man who is not aware about security. And same thing happened with the social media. When it came to the social media, there are again negative factors who are trying to exploit vulnerabilities among the people, not in the applications or the systems or the platforms, because they are highly secure, they are highly invested, but the vulnerabilities among the people, a common man who actually doesn't know the basics of how to protect his or her social media account or presence. So the first thing I would like to highlight here is that as a social media user, either we have a high number of followers or high number of friends, or either we are just starting up. The first thing which people tend to do is they leverage their privacy for the followers. So what is happening currently nowadays in social media? People are putting up their personal life and their private life on the social media, including their let's say family details and like their work details, their everyday activities, that what they're eating, what they are doing, where they are going, what they're driving. Like your every personal information is actually available on the social media when most of the people use it. There are very less number of people who care about for to see that what information is to be shared or what is not to be shared. I'm not talking about only one platform. It's about every platform actually. You take number of applications like starting from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and any other third-party apps or the other platforms which are being launched every day. So we see that people are trying to gain more and more followers because now these social media posts and the activities have been monetized. So these monetization of these services and activities are actually given everyone an opportunity to make money. So to make money, they need followers, and to they make followers, they need to bring in the content that is actually seen and viewed by the people. So to do that, they actually tend to do anything which is possible in their life to put it on the social media and then proceed and then continue gaining the followers. The second thing we do is the trends war, where we see that okay, a recent social media trend was very famous and a lot of people got a huge feedback or a huge followership or because of this trend. So people start moving or following that trend as well. Now, that trend can be anything. That's an activity that's not even related to you, or maybe it doesn't suit you, or maybe you can't do that, but you try risking yourself by putting into that trends like having videos which can actually cause a harm to yourself. Like we have seen, there have been multiple accidents where people were shooting videos for social media trends, and they eventually uh, met an accident, unfortunate accident. So a trends war is the main cause why people are actually trying to put up their personal life on the social media, or trying to make such media, social media posts or content that is actually not suitable, or which has information that is not suitable to be on the social media from their side. The cost of the social media fame is actually, as I say, that because these social media platforms have been monetized, at the same time, these services have actually been they are actually the cost of your social media fame, and you lose your privacy, you lose your personal intimacy, and that is what actually is the main price you're paying for your fame over the social media. What is the risk? Now, the risk factor is the most important part here. uh, there was a time when people used to worry that what content they should be sharing on the internet or they should not be sharing on the internet, or if their personal pictures get leaked out, what will happen, what will be the consequences. But now people are not caring about that part. But actually, that still is risk is still there, because now the systems are more advanced where people can manipulate your information to use against your benefit, or they can use it for their benefit, or they can against you they can use it against you to get any kind of other benefits also. At the same time, the risk is that people are actually being knowing your personal information, they can actually target you in some other kind of scams or attacks that can be harmful for you or for your family. And we have seen examples for this, that a couple of celebrities who are actively using social media, they were scammed and they were threatened by compromising their accounts, and they had to take steps to enhance their security or their activities on the social media accounts. And you can see that as of January 2022, the number of social media accounts and users have increased a lot. Starting from 2012 till 2020, in the next 10 years, in this decade, it has been almost 3 to 4 times increased. So this is one of the biggest reason that why people are using, why people are following, and why people are putting up their personal information that much on the social media here. Coming to the next point where I will like to talk about how to secure your social media accounts and how to protect your presence online. There are a couple of best practices that we must follow. These best practices are actually the main key that can make sure that you are not scammed or targeted or attacked, or you don't end up compromising or losing your personal information to the social media. So we should be looking around that we should use the best security controls possible. As I said before also, that these platforms are heavily invested and heavily protected. So we cannot blame these social media companies for our compromised data or compromised accounts. It's actually us who are responsible for this. So we have to use better, strong passwords. We have to use multi-factor authentication to authenticate and to log in. We should track our own login activity. We should track our own social media activity. We should improve our own privacy settings. We should see that which settings, which kind of information we are sharing publicly, which information is shared to our friends, and which information is only private to me or myself. That's very important to know. And that is how where we can actually modify these social media platforms uh, to serve us, to give us what we require, like entertainment, and share our content. At that same time, we can also control that what information is being shared there. Like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or any other social media, they have very strict security policies and compliance requirements. They meet all the standards which are globally accepted and applicable to any of these online services. However, it's us at the end of the day who will set up these privacy and security settings. So, just as a best practice, to make sure that we are secure, the few things that we need to do is to make sure that we have secure passwords, we have better we have strong multi-factor authentication settings, we should have login alerts enabled, and we should have a tracking of our login activity also enabled, so that we know that from which area, which location, which country, which IP address our account has been accessed. uh, Sharing about the content, what content you want to share is actually also very important. So we need to make sure that we share the content from the social media on the social media that is relevant to the topic or subject we are actually sharing. It should not have any kind of personal information. Like I'm not supposed to put my home videos on the social media if it is not required. It's actually leaking out my personal information, my family information, who I'm going to meet, who is coming to my house, who is living in my home, and all these informations. Check your privacy details frequently. Of course, very importantly, any post you make on the social media should be checked prior to posting, that to whom it is visible. Is that content which you are going to post is for your family and friends, or is for public? Are you supposed to share this information or no? Are you supposed to share it in first place or no? So all these things have to be checked. We should frequently go through our privacy settings, because social media accounts and channels, they keep on updating their privacy settings so frequently that we have to review it every 30 days. It's better practice to review your security and privacy settings every 30 days, just to make sure that if there is a new terms and condition added or a new option added that can enhance the security of your account, it must be enabled. One very common mistake which most of us do is use linking third-party apps to our social media accounts. So let's say that you were planning to install a new app, or you installed a new game on your mobile phone, and that game asked you to register. And they are giving you some special offer that if you register with your social media account, will give you 5,000 points extra, or a bonus of 5,000 points, let's say. Now that 5,000 coins bonus for a game or an app is actually the the payment you are making this company for selling your information. So you are, first of all, you are selling your information to them, then you are also in return of these 5,000 or whatever points or bonus you're getting from them, and that information gets sold out to third party apps for their marketing techniques and marketing strategies. They build up the databases for this, which is very critical, because your interest, your social media activity helps build the other companies their advertisement strategy. That how you can control it, that you can control by disabling such features or not using these features. At the same time, you are not sure that the app you are actually installing, which is going to link to your social media account, how they will be protecting your data, how they're supposed, where they are keeping your data, how they are protecting it, what controls they have to enforce or ensure that no somebody will not have illegitimate access to that data. So we have to be careful with regards to this, especially. Then looking, especially look for links and imposters. Now, since these couple of trends that are running in the market nowadays, even myself, I use social media also, but I use it carefully. But at the same time, I usually keep on, based on my social media activities, I keep on getting spam messages where people are asking me, "Oh, you can make money out of this, and whatever you're doing, there is a new character in the internet world who can help you make millions of dollars out of your this activity." So all these imposters and phishing links are actually just nothing but they are just a fishnet that is trying to grab anybody who comes in and who they can scam. Scams can be physical, can be financial, or they can be virtual. They can be to steal your identity or your account passwords, or they can lead to even extended modes where they can damage or harm you in person as well. One more important point is about protecting your mobile devices. Now, as you know, that social media applications and platforms are very actively available on the mobile phone devices. Most of us, actually every one of us has a smartphone nowadays, and we use these social media accounts and services on these smartphones. So it is our duty to protect our devices as well. Protect your smartphone with a strong pin, a fingerprint, or a facial recognition, or at least make sure that nobody has access to that. If you want to give your phone to somebody else who wants for a short period of time, make sure that they are only using the app which you want them to, or you intend them to use. Let's say you want to show one of your trips picture to your friend, so don't just give him the phone. See what he's watching on your phone. Maybe you were thinking that this guy is looking at your picture, but actually he's trying to access your social media to get some information or some insights in your activity itself that can lead to some extent further damage. At the same time, WhatsApp is one of the most common messaging platforms. Many people have been have been scamming around people, but by stealing their WhatsApp identity using, let's say, web browser logins, scanning the QR code and activating your WhatsApp on their web browser, which you're not even aware. So all these kind of precautions must be taken to while using your social media account, so that you don't end up losing your personal information or end up compromising your account itself. Now, the next topic I would like to cover is more important, which is your children's protection, online protection. Now, why this topic at this stage? Because we are living in a world which is open. Currently, our internet, and internet is a service that is available to most of every one of us. So, what our kids are connected to the internet during the pandemic. You know, most of us started working from home. The kids started attending the classes or schools at home. Every child now has access to a tab or a mobile phone or a laptop. So we need to make sure that our kids' activity online is safe and secure, and they are not being uh, harmed on the internet. uh, Kids play online games in the on most of the online games now have chat feature as well, where you might have read the news also that somebody approached a child on the video game platform, and he asked him, or she asked him to visit a place, and the kids went there out of curiosity, and they end up harming themselves. That's very important and very critical. So we need to make sure that who our kids are interacting on the social media. It's not bad to use. It's bad to misuse. So how they're using it, how they are accessing their social media networks, what are the activities they are doing, what kind of content they are watching on the social media, it's very important. I understand that this doesn't apply to all the cultures, but when we talk especially about the Middle Eastern culture, where we think that the children's rights are different, like are looked at a different perspective. So here, and especially in these cultures, the children activity is actively monitored. So it's not only that you monitor that your child is meeting to whom, but actually you should also see on to whom they are interacting on the internet, on the social media as well. And this critical part is very important, because a mature kid who is a child, but is very mature to understand his the risk to his life or to his personal information is fine. But small kids like 6 to 7 years or 8 to 9 years kids who are not yet sure that what harm can happen to them, they actually need a special protection and a special uh, support from the parents in this regards to make sure that they use the internet safely. At the same time, I would also like to mention that the devices which our kids are using are mostly provided by us. So maybe there is a chance that the kid has his own mobile or tablet or a laptop, but other cases can be that they're using one of your devices. Now, using one of your devices actually puts your information also on risk. That maybe your kid will install an app or a game, or it will perform an activity that actually will compromise your whole device itself. So we have to make sure that our kids are accessing the devices securely. If you're giving your personal device to your child, make sure that they're not able to install applications, or they can They or give them a special mod in your phone. Nowadays, there are apps available there. You can install a parallel space on your phone, and then so it's very simple. Give your kid a phone in an access in a way to the like access to the phone in a way that it's secure for yourself and for your kids as well. Now, protecting your home network, it's also very important. It's just like protecting your uh, home's entrance door against burglaries. So how you can do that? By using a strong internet password for your internet. Because if you are using internet, you might be having a shared storage on your network that is actually keeping all your family pictures on it. And now, if your home's network gets compromised and somebody gets access to the network, he can or she can actually have access to all the media you are sharing on your network storage. Or they can also interact with your kids on the local network. And that comes as a surprise, and that can lead to any kind of illusion to the kids that they will understand, okay, this person is somebody from our family or somebody we already know. And then they can fall trap to their scam as well. So to do this, to achieve this, we need to work collectively. We have to raise the awareness among our children, among our family members. So as many people as you have at home, take time to discuss with them the risk associated with the use of social media and using it in a safe and secure manner. That is how you can actually raise awareness among your family. That is how only you can protect your family also. It's just like protecting your family against any other threat that is existing in this world for you, on the road hazards while driving, or burglary hazards at home, or any other. It's just like another hazard for your family and for yourself. So we have to think about it in the same direction and according to the same point of view, so that our kids, they know what is safe and what is not safe. At the same time, we should spread and we should discuss these kind of ideas and topics and conversations with our extended friends and family as well, not only in the home. uh, do this at your office workplace as well. Ask your IT department to have sessions on this part. Why not? It's an equally important topic that we have to cover and we must cover. So in general, uh, your kids, your children's online presence is in your hands. You have to do that. Once you do this properly, you will be able to like make sure that your kids are using the internet and all other services in a safe manner, and they will not uh, they will not cause any kind of harm or damage to themselves. So this is what we have today. So if you have any kind of questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can move to the next session. Thank you very much.